Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and this is my late review of Bad North. I played it on the Xbox One. It's also available on the PS4 and Switch. So Bad North doesn't have so much of a story as a concept, and the concept is that Vikings are invading your territory? It's hard to call it land because it's really just islands, and you are on these islands and defend them, and that's basically the story. As for the audio in this game, I enjoyed the audio. I wish there was more. I did like the music that was there. I just wish there was a greater variety in the music. It's a lot of string instruments, violins, cellos, etc., which I always love, so that's cool. I also enjoy the sound effects for the, I guess, action you'd call it. There's not really a lot of voiceover work. There are some kind of grunts and kind of noises for the characters. And by characters, I mean like the generals of your little armies. But again, not a lot of voiceover. The sound effects for when you're fighting, they're fun, they're kind of cartoony, which works for the game. So overall, I enjoyed the audio. I gotta say, I liked it. I liked the way it worked with the game. As for the gameplay is you are on an island, there are houses on said island, and you are required to defend those houses with your squads. You can have a total of 4 squads, and as you progress through the game, your squads will level up and you'll be able to customize them, basically. You can get archers, spearmen, guys with swords and shields, etc., and you can increase their strength, you can give them special abilities, special items, all of that to make it easier to defend the island that you've chosen this time. I like that there's a world map, and then you can pick which island you want to go to, so you can prioritize certain places in order to maybe gain a new item or gain a new squad. That being said, I don't really know how to classify this game. It's like a real-time tower defense horde mode RTS, which isn't a bad thing. I enjoyed it. I actually had a lot of fun just sitting down and playing it. I found myself playing it far more than I expected to. I'd sit down and be like, I'm gonna put an hour or so in. Next thing I know, 2.5 hours later. The other thing I enjoy about a game like this, and this may sound weird because I review games, but I was talking about the audio earlier. I like the audio, but this is also one of those games where if you're like in the mood for a certain music, certain band, whatever, you can just throw that on and keep playing the game without it affecting anything. You won't miss story elements, you won't miss funny jokes, you won't miss voiceover work. So I like that about this game. It's a good game for that. I'd also like to say it's a very relaxing game, but it's not always a very relaxing game. Some of those battles can get tense as hell, and you can totally fuck up on your strategy and get ruined. While we're talking about gameplay, there's one thing I need to say. The archers suck. Not all the time, but they're so inconsistent that it sucks, because sometimes you can wipe out like an entire boat before it reaches your shores, and other times they can't hit anyone on 2 boats right next to each other. It's awful at times. On to the controls. The controls are very simple and they are very functional. They work very well for this game, and they're easy to learn, they're easy to use. It just works well for what you're doing. It probably helps that the game itself is not overly complicated, so therefore the controls don't need to be overly complicated, and makes them easy to work with. Lastly, the graphics. I like the graphics in this game. It's a very simple looking game. It's nothing fancy, but I like the way it's all done. I really enjoyed the art style. It's kind of cartoony, kind of cutesy, which makes it kind of horrific when there's massive amounts of bloodshed, and there are at times. Like, it's actually a surprisingly bloody game considering how cartoony and cutesy it looks. That being said, I like the art style. I really enjoyed the way it looked. I liked the coloring. I liked that it looked a little watercolorish at times. I just enjoyed it. So to wrap this up, everything put together, I would love to fully recommend this game. It's just kind of hard to at a $15 price point. I think if it was $10, I could go full force recommend, especially considering we're going into gaming season, which is, you know, a lot of huge games coming out. So I will say I recommend it at $10 rather than the full price it is right now. I just think it's a little bit too much for what you get. Okay, so in the comments below, why don't you tell me what your favorite tower defense game is? And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you like what I'm doing in general, share, subscribe. Have a good one.